So in OSCP, these are the modules which we'll be covering. Okay. The very
Mhm.
first thing is introduction to OSCP. You all know about OSCP because that's what your target is, right?
Mhm.
So you might, I mean, you must be knowing about OSCP, but I'll also share you some, key points of, doing OSCP and how it is different from other certification. Okay. And the lab setup. So whatever we will be doing inside or in our isolated environment, which where we will have a virtual, machines. We will
Yeah.
have an attacker machine. We will have a victim machine. We will have, we will try to install some application server also, so that you can practice it within your environment. And when you go for, when you go for OSCP lab, it will be easier for you to solve that lab. So that is
Okay.
what we will be covering in a very first, module. Then
Okay.
comes your information gathering. So information gathering, there are two different types of information gathering. One is your active and the other is passive. So we will be covering, the information gathering from an OSINT perspective, open source
Mhm.
intelligence. So from OSINT perspective, where we will completely rely on publicly exposed information.
Okay.
Okay. Then comes your scanning. So scanning is, once you get an initial foothold. So for an example, once you get an initial foothold of a target, you are already into a network. So
Yeah.
what kind of, scanning you will perform to get a better, visibility of the target. So,
Mhm.
you'll scan the port, you'll try to scan, ports with different script, you'll try to identify the vulnerability. So we'll perform scanning on it. So basically, there will be, tools like Nmap or Masscan, which will be using to perform
Mhm.
this activity. Then comes your enumeration, which is a very crucial part of OSCP, because enumeration is the key. So once you
Uh,
get an initial foothold, once you scan, then you start enumeration. So enumeration to different services. So for an example, let's say you have, you got an IP. So you got an IP, you perform a scan on that IP. You got, port like 21 open, port, let's say 445 open, port 22
mhm.
open. So you'll try to perform, you have to perform enumeration on all those ports. So I mean, when you do enumeration, you will get a clear, let's say you'll get a clear visibility, you'll get a clear transparency that if any file is being exposed or if
Yeah.
any vulnerability exists on that service or any vulnerability or any CV is associated with that,
Mhm.
version. So you'll get a clear, picture of it, and then using that information, you can exploit that particular system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then comes your vulnerability scanning. So in vulnerability scanning, we will be using tools like Nessus, uh, which we will run against that IP and get the information. And once we get the vulnerability of that system or any misconfiguration of that system, using that POC, we'll try to exploit that machine.